Chapter 1. The Lightollers. The Funeral. A chill December wind made waves across the broad reach of the Thames by Mortlake Bridge. Naked trees swayed limb-like branches across the edge of a grim red-brick building, into which trooped a steady procession of black-clad figures. There was me, a skinny 13-year-old in a suit that looked made for a bigger person. The vicar in charge droned on about the great man, his adventurous life, his courage and bravery through peace and in war, his family, his widow, and his sister, but of course didn't mention me, or my mother. There the two of us sat, wedged between Grandma Gertrude, the great man's sister, and Great-Aunt Sylvia, his widow. My mother was having a good weep, the way she always liked to. The two upright old ladies either side of us showed little or no sign of grieving. They were made of sterner stuff. We watched the doors of the furnace open, the coffin move into the flames, and my great-uncle, Charles Herbert Lightoller, hero of the Titanic's tragic sinking, left our lives forever. He took with him the unsolved mysteries of the loss of the great ship and his part in it. What he did leave behind was a well-documented catalogue of his adventurous life and heroism. Or were there some tales left untold? Were there riddles yet to be solved? A Place of Mysteries. Over the years, my interest in the Titanic and its tragic end grew, until it became quite an obsession with me. On a number of occasions before they died, I tried to get some information on the subject from both my grandmother Gertrude and my great-aunt Sylvia. Grandma Gertrude intimated to me that the full truth of the Titanic's demise had never been made public. However, she only seemed willing to speak of the event in riddles, the meaning of most of which has only begun to become clearer as my research for this book has progressed. Remarks like, "The sea is a place of mysteries, and there are mystery ships upon it." It was to be many years before I stumbled upon the possible explanation of this riddle, an explanation so horrific that, if true, it would almost dwarf the tragedy of the great liner's sinking. Great-Aunt Sylvia, on the other hand, more or less clammed right up on the rare occasions that I visited her and broached the subject. So once I was approached to write a book about my great-uncle and his involvement in the Titanic sinking, I began to try to fit the pieces of the puzzle together. And a long and complex task it turned out to be. My eccentric grandmother liked to be known as Gertrude Lightoller, as opposed to Gertrude Hannah, her original married name. Her attachment to the Lightoller name was a strong one, as she often spoke of her brother, Commander Lightoller, or Bertie as she always called him. A lesson in colour. I remember the first time Grandma Gertrude brought out her book of French Impressionists and told me to half close my eyes and look at the works of Monet, Renoir, and the others. In doing so, I found the pictures became much clearer, taking on an almost three-dimensional quality. Grandma Gertrude also taught me about colour. "What colour is the sky?" she asked me one day. When I answered it was blue, she took me out into her small back garden. "Look at that bit of sky over there," she commanded. "What colour is it?" "It's a sort of blue," I replied, for it was a fine, clear summer day.